Alright, hello, and welcome to Season 6, Episode 7, Arctic Beauty. Now, it honestly doesn't look like it in the final painting, but this one starts with like a black canvas. Maybe in the... when he actually did this painting, it was probably more like a dark bluish, purplish, like it probably wasn't like pure black. But now I can see my reflection because the most of my TV being black now, so that's kind of fun, right? Do I want to make the... because like that's one thing with this painting, specifically the sky and such. It's like this purplish tone, kind of like a... but as we all know, we do not have a purple, so we might just go for the magenta. Maybe magenta and then overlay it with some gray might be a play. We'll see. We'll see what the vibe is. I think that's what I'll just go with. Did you figure out anything more with your internet stuff, by the way, G? I was actually thinking of like messaging you at some point and saying like, okay, here's some things that I think you should try looking into for like router setting stuff. Unless if you just, I know you said you reset your router and it was working after that. But I don't know if you looked into anything else. But I do have like a couple of ideas that might not be set up on your router because they usually aren't by default. Jordan gave you login info. I was looking at this, like, so much info. Yep. Let's go, Jordan. Jordan. Yes. Let's go. That's definite Jordan with the Mediterranean cookbook. Pausers. Why am I using this color? I need to use... okay, let's just erase that. Get rid of that. Did you end up, like, adjusting anything? Because you're still using, like, Wi-Fi, right? Like, you guys don't have your computers hooked up with a cable, right? If I remember correctly. Which cable one day, Hopium? Our PCs are not hooked up via cables now. Have you guys ever looked into power line adapters? I had to pay mucho moolah for that. I mean, you could, in theory, because like the way my PC is hooked up with an Ethernet cable is like, I just have like a long ass Ethernet cable and I have it like going around like the door frame to my room and it goes like underneath this rug. So I guess if you want to do some like ghetto setup like that. But if you've ever looked into a power line adapter, those are actually, they're like a step up from Wi-Fi. They're like the middle ground between Wi-Fi and Ethernet. It's basically this box that you plug this box into like an outlet near your computer and you plug an Ethernet cable from your computer into that box. And then it comes with a secondary box and you plug that box in next to wherever your router is, and then there's a cable, an Ethernet cable that goes from that box to the router. And it like, I don't understand how it works, but it like uses the wiring in your house to somehow transfer the internet connection. It's like magic. I don't understand it, but it works. I used to use one and it actually works pretty good. I've heard like if you are in like an older house, it supposedly doesn't work as good. Like it's kind of like, I guess, RNG how well it works, something something based on the wiring of your house, but I think your place is like kind of newer-ish, so I think it would probably work well. So you should definitely look into that, because I think that would just be beneficial. I was gonna say, I think like looking into setting up this thing called QoS on your router, I think that would also be potentially beneficial. I know if you like go to like this, like if you like were to look up like your router and like just look up like QoS setup, usually like the router manufacturer has like a guide on how to set it up properly. At least I know for this router and like the previous one that we used to use, it had that. Your house has Ethernet ports in each room coming out of the wall next to the TV cable. Oh yeah, that's like Skittles' apartment. Shoutouts to that being a thing. One of my friends was telling me how they got like they moved into like some apartment building like a few years back. I think like he said like it was built like newly in like 2016 or something, and apparently like that apartment complex, it had like the landline ports on the walls and not Ethernet ports. Which is like, bruh, like people were not really using Ethernet, or were not really using home phones at that point in time anymore, so I don't know what that was about. So I think he was like, oh shit, this place has the Ethernet ports in the wall, and then it's like, nope, just kidding, it's the phone ports, which look like the same. I wonder how expensive that is to get somebody to wire your Ethernet ports through your wall. Get curious. But yeah, the power line adapter is definitely something you should look into. They're usually not very expensive if you need to get like if you need to purchase one. They're usually pretty cheap. And yeah, I can definitely say from experience, like I've had good results with them over time. Back in the day when I used them. So I can recommend using one. Definitely over Wi-Fi, it's definitely worth it for sure. It would also definitely help with ping. Like I know how your ping is randomly just like all like wild, and I know that would definitely at least make your ping more consistent, and it should be definitely better. That's the tragic thing with Wi-Fi. Like no matter how close you are to your router, your ping will always be worse than if you're just using a cable. You always have problems with Wi-Fi in your house. It doesn't come through the walls very well. I wonder how much of it is... I know one thing with routers that you have to like change on your own is the Wi-Fi channel. Because usually the Wi-Fi channel is just set to like automatic, but if you're in like if the Wi-Fi channel your router picks is one with like a lot of congestion on it, that can definitely like hinder the performance of your Wi-Fi like dramatically. So there's definitely usually a like an optimal Wi-Fi channel you want to use in your area, just based on like what channels are being used with like your neighbors and such. Your Mario Kart World downloads in 3 hours and you docked it and it dropped to 7 minutes, bruh. That's crazy. Oh, you used a powerline adapter at your parents' house way back when? Pausers? 3? Oh. This is an interesting sky we have going right now. This cloud is also interesting. Cloud, pausers. It's like, it's just blackness. It's just dark. That's you. Pointers. Okay. Alright, mountain time. I feel like it's been a while since we've done a juicy mountain in Mario Paint. Has it? I feel like it has. I'm saying it has. Boom. Oh, look at that. Oh my goodness. It's a mountain in the making. Is that an official emote? Hey, hey, guys. Do I have that? I do not have that one. QATW partner. Like, is that like one of like, is that like an official thing? Oh, it's a hype train emote. Yeah, shoutouts to like out of the new hype train emotes, I got this one, which goes hard. I was like, Pog. I have some older shitty hype train emotes, but I think that's like one of like the few like new ones that I have that are good. I wonder for the serious emote, I wonder how many people get like what the reference is for that one. There is a direct reference to a meme. A meme of some sorts. It is indeed the Goku meme. Yes, sir. That's the Goku. Oh, Goku. Actually wearing a Dragon Ball shirt today. Not sponsored. Well, unless. What if I was sponsored? Like, it's kind of crazy how for like a long time the hype train emotes were just like turbo garbage, but now like they actually start getting good ones, which goes hard. Feels good when you hire artists to make good products. Wait, that's also a hype train emote? Bruh, that just looks like copyright free Squirtle. I guess it's just a turtle, but like I don't know, it just looks so similar. Sickly Squirtle. Oh, sickly Squirtle. I don't think I've ever seen that emote though. That's a new one for me. But I think there like actually is a good amount of hype train emotes out there. I just don't understand these like old hype train emotes. Like or I don't even know if this is even a hype train emote, but like what the fuck, like all these ones. Okay, I guess it is a hype train emote, but it's like what the I don't know, that just sucks. Like what is that? It's a lightning bolt. Oh. It's a lightning bolt. Damn, y'all got a lot of hype train emotes though. My mountain is way more to the side than Bob's is. That's okay. That doesn't really matter. This mountain high key kind of hard to get like the vibes right of it. I'm not gonna lie. What is? I'm just confused looking at this like hype Griffin 3. Like what am I looking at? It's like an arm and but like there's like wheels or something. I just don't like what is that? I see like the claws and like an arm or it's a leg. I think it looks more like an arm. But I'm just confused as to unless it's supposed to be like a well, it is hype Griffin 3, so maybe you're supposed to like combo it with 1 and 2. I assume, but like on its own, I don't understand what I'm looking at. High key. Even when I hover over it, I'm like, I don't get it. So maybe it is supposed to be a multi-part emote, and on its own, I don't know what it's supposed to be. Like, do you ever have that with certain things, just like in general? Like, you look at like a part of something, and you're like, "What the hell am I looking at?" And then you figure out what it's supposed to be, and it's like, "Oh, okay, now I can see it properly." But like until you have that initial like, "Oh," part, it's just like, "What the hell am I looking at on this?" You know, one thing that's tough with making emotes, like if you ever want to make an emote that has text on it, it is like pretty tough to make the text legible. But something I've noticed also is for some reason, like emotes on mobile are always like way higher quality looking for some reason than on desktop. I've always noticed that. It's very weird that it's like that. Mobile emotes are just like a giga quality for some reason. Especially like some animated emotes on desktop, they have like no aliasing or no anti-aliasing whatsoever. They are just so like jagged looking sometimes. Which is a little unfortunate. A little unfortunate. I know it's also still a thing on Twitch. I don't know if they ever improved it. Because when you upload an emote on Twitch, you have to upload it in 3 image sizes, a 112 pixel square frame, and then a 56 pixel square frame, and then a 28 pixel square frame size. But at some point a couple years ago, Twitch made it so you can upload like one size and it'll like auto resize the emote for you. And everyone just said that it just makes your emotes worse quality, so don't use it. And I don't know if they ever fixed that, if it's ever been improved. I just heard that, and then I was like, okay, I will proceed to keep outputting my emotes the same way I've been doing it, because it's easy enough to output 3 sizes. It doesn't, like, it takes like an extra like 10 seconds to do it. Because yeah, I got them hotkeys on deck. I got them hotkeys on deck, what can I say? Honestly, this mountain is actually turning out better than I expected it to. I didn't think it would turn out decent. So I'm like, okay, it's actually kind of looking good. I don't know, I'm kind of vibing with it, honestly. You know, thinking about the Switch 2 again, something I didn't realize, the Switch 2 literally only launched with Mario Kart and like that Welcome Tour game. Like, I didn't realize it, which like, I know people are saying that that game should have just been a bundle-in game, which I agree. Welcome Tour definitely should have just been a pack-in title. Like, I think allegedly it's only $10, but then I know if you want to experience everything in that game, you have to like buy apparently like $90 worth of accessories. Probably in Canada, it's like probably like $130 of accessories if you want to like do everything in that game. Which, like, for what it is, like, I'll give Nintendo credit. Like, it does look like a pretty decent game, but it looks like it should have just been a free game, in my opinion. That's my thoughts on it. I think it should have been a free game. It's like the same. It's the same shit with like a 1-2 Switch. Like everyone said, this should have just been a free. Like this should have been a pack-in title with the Switch. Like I don't understand why it wasn't. I mean, supposedly on the Wii, which this wasn't a thing for Japanese Wii consoles apparently. But apparently it was Reggie who fought to get Wii Sports to be a bundled-in title with every Wii. And it ended up being a very good play, because I'm sure that probably helped their console sell a lot more. But like especially like what I've seen of the Welcome Tour for the Switch too, like it literally is like a tutorial game that has like mini games built into it, but it's like a literal like tutorial like thing. Like it just feels like it should be a pack-in title. That's the thing. Like it just feels weird that it's being sold separately. That's my thing about it. It just like feels weird from what I've seen that they're making people purchase it, and then you have to purchase accessories if you want to like even play the whole damn thing. You don't even want it though. That's valid. Like it looks like it's probably like fun. Like some of the mini games look like they're probably fun enough, but it's like I don't know. Make it free on Nintendo Online. Yeah, that'd be valid too if it was free with an online subscription. How will Nintendo ever make money if they include a $10 game for free though? It's a good point there, Timmy. It's a good point there. I'm just really curious to see what they're gonna do with Kirby Air Riders. I think that's the title, Air Riders. I'm curious if that's gonna turn out well, because that'll be really tragic if they flop that game. Because everybody loves Kirby Air Ride Original. Just literally give it like it just needs to be like City Trial juiced up Giga. That's what it needs to be. Literally, that's all they have to do, and obviously have like the other things too. But have Stage Trial just be juiced up so much, and then like literally they're chilling if they do that. Like make the City Trial map like big, make it big, make there be so much to find and do in there. Make multiple maps. Maybe make the map have some like roguelike vibe to it where it's like somewhat like randomly generated to a degree. Maybe that could be interesting. You never played Kirby Air Ride? The big thing you probably have like always heard people talk about is City Trial. It's like basically this like free roam map where you just like go around and you collect power-ups for your vehicle, and like there's like little secrets to find throughout the map, and then you can like find different like vehicles to drive, and then whatever vehicle you're riding at the end of the time limit, and like all your stats, like that carries over into like the mini game that you play. Sounds like Mario Kart World. Well, the city trial portion is like literally like it's, I think people usually set the timer for like 6-7 minutes or so, and it's like it's like you build up like your stats before you go into the mini game. That's like pretty much what it is. Yeah, it's not permanent. Like every time you load it up, it's just, you start with like no stats and like this like starter like baby warp star thingy. The compact star, I believe is the name of it. And it's pretty interesting. Like literally for new Kirby Air Ride, they just have to expand on that concept that they did. That's all they have to do. If they do nothing else with that game. But only time will tell. Only time will tell. Okay, we get to do this. It's water time, baby. It's water time. Do I want to use the dark blue? Or do I just use the magenta? Because, like, in the original painting, like, the water is kind of like, it's like the same color as, like, the sky, pretty much. So maybe I should just use the magenta for the water. And then we overlay it with the white. The white. Let's try it. Let's see how it goes. I'm kind of running out of space, though. The Mario Paint problem where I'm running out of space at the bottom of my canvas. Yeah, this canvas would definitely, or this painting would definitely benefit a ton from having like the extra vertical space of what the Bob Ross canvas usually has. So I have to like kind of make this front part like kind of cropped off a little bit, but you know, it is what it is. Which for those who never noticed, the Mario Paint canvas, it's definitely a much thinner rectangle compared to the Bob Ross canvas. The Bob Ross canvas, usually it's like a lot closer. It's pretty much a square. It's definitely like a slightly wider square. But the Mario Paint one, it is definitely not as tall. Which I make it work usually. I'd also say something. Alright, so what's everyone's plans for today? What's everyone's vibe? Let me hear the vibes. I'm thinking about what I want to do after this. I'm thinking if I want to, like, do I just do more solo repo stuff? I was also maybe considering trying Lethal Iron Man, but I don't know. Which I don't know if you ever saw this, G, but a few nights ago, I spent like an hour working on a new lethal mod pack for us. AKA, I basically took like most of the mods that we had from our existing mod pack. Just because, yeah, like our old mod pack, even like like when we were playing more, I feel like we had so many like desync issues just randomly, and I was like, we need to just like delete this and just make a new one entirely. So I was like, I just took it upon myself randomly to do that. Supposedly, Skittle showed me one of the mods that like Skittle and their group for Lethal use that supposedly fixes like when Anna died to the new enemy, the Sapsucker. How like she was stuck in that like limbo state. And supposedly there's this one mod that Skittle uses that fixes that, so I did put that in. You're working. Is it going well today, Cloud? You're laundrying and tidying, dude. I need to wash my towels. Like I meant to do it on the weekend and then I just never did it. Oops. Hey, Stalkor. How's it going? Reorienting your bedroom? Oh my god, moving furniture, Cloud reference, pointers. How are you, Stalkor? Hope you're well. I'm like high key, low key on a bit of an break again. Cause like, okay, so here's the thing. I use S Video, right, for my Wii and for my Super Nintendo and N64. So all my consoles I capture with S Video. And my Wii S Video cable is like bad S Video or like fake S Video, if you may. And if you've ever noticed with my gameplay footage, it gives this like checkerboarding effect on the gameplay. And the way to fix that is to get basically a official Nintendo cable, which is expensive on eBay. And then I think there's like I think Mad Catz S-Video cables don't have that checkerboarding effect, but like they just like don't exist anywhere. They just don't exist online anywhere. Like I couldn't find them when I tried looking a while back. So there is this newer, like just some random website that got linked from a pretty reputable source that was like, hey, this guy is making new Wii S-Video cables that like don't have checkerboarding and actually look good. But they only ship to America, which I should have got Skittle to get this for me when they came up like earlier this year, and then I wouldn't have to deal with it now. But I was like, hey, can you just get this for me and bring it up? So Skittle's gonna bring that up at some point whenever they come up next, soon TM-ish. So I'm like, at this point, I'm like, I kind of want to wait until I get that cable before I do more runs almost. Like, I've still been playing a little bit offline, but I kind of want to wait for that almost, because like, it should be not too long from now. You cleaned up the shed today, your body is broken. How long did that take you? Delete this? Gun? Wait, is that a blue weapon, G? Oh my god. Yeah, oh my god. But yeah, from what I can say, G, from like the little bit we played of the new Fortnite season, it actually was not horrible. So it feels good. It was actually playable. Hopefully next time you try to game with us, your stuff is all being functional. Wait, so did you look into power line adapters, G? Or like, do you already have one, question mark? What's the status on that? It's you 4 hours? Oh my god. I know that feel though. I need to do more cleaning. Actually, today is Monday. We'll see if I feel like doing it later. Because there's this one part of our kitchen, one of the drawers that has like a bunch of old random garbage in there that we don't need anymore. And I need to go through and like clean that out and like throw out a bunch of things from in there. Like a bunch of things that are shoved to the back that are like super old and nobody's ever used, probably ever, in the existence of living in this house. It's just, I just haven't felt like doing it. I've probably spent like a collective like 7 or 8 hours cleaning the kitchen over the past like few months. Maybe even more than that. 'Cause I've had like 3 different sessions where I spent like multiple hours cleaning the kitchen out. Cause like there's just so much, but like it's getting there. It's getting good progress. You have one, but I'm not sure if you have enough ports on your actual modem. Are you using many like Ethernet cables plugged into your router? So I guess like it does plug into the router, not like the modem itself. I guess I have no idea what y'all have plugged into your router that's using like a cable. I think most routers usually have like what, like 4 to 6 Ethernet ports on them. I know there's like Ethernet like splitters you can get, but I don't know how good those are, like if they're like good to use. Or maybe you can look into if you're gonna keep using Wi-Fi for now, like look into look up something along the lines of like how to find the best Wi-Fi channel. Because it's possible, it's very likely if you've never set it up specifically on your router that it's using like automatic Wi-Fi channels. Which I guess to make an analogy of it, imagine if like Wi-Fi channels are like lanes on a highway. And by default, routers are usually, like I think I've always seen routers by default set it to automatic channels. And so, like, imagine if it was just, like, RNG. It's like, okay, we're gonna go into lane 1 on the highway, but oops, there's a shit ton of cars in this highway when we could have went into lane 5 instead, where there's no cars. And it's just, like, congested as fuck. I think that's a pretty decent analogy. Whereas, like, if you manually set your router to pick the same channel every time, like in your area, like it should be pretty consistent because it's like it's based off of like, I guess, like, you know, like what has the most interference in your area. So like if you have like a bunch of neighbors that are all using the same Wi-Fi channel, then it's like, oh, you want to use a different channel from them because then there'll be less interference with your Wi-Fi. Which this is where using like an Ethernet cable or a power line adapter would be a lot better because then you don't have to worry about that at all. Yeah, I guess it does depend if you're using 2.4 or 5 gigahertz. I think for 2.4, it's like 1, 6, and 11 are like usually like the best channels because I think 1, like 1 and 6 and 11, like none of those channels overlap, I think is what it is. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly. That's the vibe. Most of it is cleaning, even if the shed is closed, so stuff gets dirty. It's amazing how much stuff you can accumulate over time. Yeah. I mean, having lived with a parent who is definitely a hoarder for a long time, so it's like we're kind of like stuck with just having to deal with cleaning all this shit up. Like, there's like some random box in that drawer in our kitchen that has the packaging on the box looks like it's from the 90s. And I'm like, has this ever been opened, I wonder? I want to say probably no. It's probably never been used. I don't even know like what it is, but it like I can just tell it's old AF. I can immediately tell it's so old. Funny story is that your old work had Wi-Fi issues, and it turned out that when someone used the printer, the Wi-Fi crapped out. Turns out printing generates interference to the access point, and the access point is right above the printer. That's the same with my microwave. I remember like with our Wi-Fi like a long time ago, whenever somebody would use the microwave, it would make our Wi-Fi like just drop completely, and because it's like the Wi-Fi. I forget if it was just like that like Wi-Fi channel we were using, or if it was just like the something with the router. Because I remember hearing back then it was like, oh, some microwaves like mess up like Wi-Fi signals, but I haven't dealt with that in a long time. But it was like, yep, this is consistent. This is definitely the microwave causing this, which is crazy. Yeah, exactly, yeah. There do be apps that analyze the channels in your area. It would be nice if routers just got like to a point where they like automatically did this shit for you, so you don't have to like deal with trying to figure this out on your own. Because it's like, you know, your average person like probably like doesn't know to do like a lot of things. In terms of like setting up specific things for Wi-Fi, like it's annoying, in my opinion, how finicky internet stuff just still is. Internet stuff is just so finicky. It'll be cool in some point in time down the road when hopefully internet has evolved even more to the point where it just works properly like all the time. Because like, yeah, I guess like the whole like internet in general is like way newer still than like comparatively to like electricity just in general. But like I just think about how it's like, you know, like randomly your internet is just being bad and it's like, oh, which maybe some people don't deal with this, but how it's like, oh, my internet's being shitty and I have to just reboot my modem and router and it fixes it. But it's like, you know, you never, at least I've never heard of anyone with this, but it's like you never deal with like, oh, the electricity in my house keeps cutting out. I need to like flick the breaker on and off to get it to work properly. Like that's not, I've never heard of that being a thing. And if that's a thing, then that sucks for someone if that's a thing. But you know, I just want this thing that we're paying for to just function correctly. That like I just want it to do the thing it's supposed to do. Is that too much to ask for? I actually even have it set up on our router so it auto reboots every Monday morning at like 7 a.m. because it's like, okay, Monday morning at like 7 a.m. like nobody's using the Wi-Fi then usually, or using like the internet at that point. Even still, there's like some random days where it's like, oh, like on the, I'm pretty sure that day G when we were like playing repo and my shit was like being bad the entire time. I'm pretty sure all I had to do was like reboot the modem and router, but my dad was like watching TV and he uses like the TV or he uses the internet for TV, so I was like, I don't want to like fuck up his shit right now. Even though I should have just went and done it. I'm pretty sure that's all I had to do to fix it. Unless it was just coincidentally being shitty. Because sometimes the internet is just being bad and there's like nothing you can do about it. Sometimes it's just how it be. My line of work for employees working from home, we call it the last mile. It's nearly impossible for employees to measure the last mile since it's home Wi-Fi, etc. You know, that's like a thing with like working from home. Okay, I'm gonna be honest though. There was this one time in college where like, cause you know, when my final semester in college happened like during the pandemic, like, you know, like all that shit started like March of 2020 and I graduated in like April, like halfway through April, or my semester finished in April. So like I only had to deal with online learning stuff for like a month and a half. And we had to do this like presentation. So we had to do the presentation online, right? And I fucking slept in. So I just lied and said that my internet was out. I was like, I'm just gonna say this. Instead of saying I slept in, I fucking lied to them. I was like, yeah, sorry, my internet was out. And it's like, what were they gonna do? What were they gonna do about it? I'd be like, no, it wasn't. How do you know my internet wasn't out? And it's like, I wonder how many people do that with like working from home where they're like, oh yeah, sorry, my internet's out, I can't work today. Like, I remember that was like a whole thing. If y'all have heard like Justin tell this story about when he worked at Apple, I remember he would say that like he told us how like he was having some problems with like the computer that he was using for work that they gave him, and supposedly they just like fired him because of that, because they were saying like that he was trying to get out of doing work by saying that his computer wasn't working properly. And it's like, if he really just didn't want to do the work, why would he go through the trouble of like making up a whole lie like that when he could just not do the work or just quit? Like, that's so whack that like they just like outright like accused him of that and supposedly fired him because of that. I'm like, bruh, what? That's so cringe. Common Apple L, I know. Shocker. Yeah, dealing with the internet stuff is just like it's such a pain in the ass. I hate dealing with internet problems. Thankfully, I think we're at a point where our internet is like pretty stable overall currently. Generally speaking, you know, it still fucks up sometimes, but it's pretty good for the most part nowadays. Because like a year or two ago, we were having just issues with our internet just dropping like every like it would just be random completely. It was so obnoxious. Like internet would be fine for like a month, and then like randomly like the next week our internet is dropping like every day or something like that. For, like it'll cut out like for like 10 minutes, then it'll be back on for like an hour, then it'll cut out for 10 minutes. And it was like the router we were using, it wasn't even that old. It was like a relatively new router. And they said that it was a problem with our router, which we do have a different router now, but it's like we had an Asus router, and like I don't know, I thought Asus was pretty good. I thought at least. Maybe not. But now we have a TP-Link router, which I know this router is definitely a way overkill router than what we need, but I was like, I would rather have a much better router. Just so it doesn't struggle, hopefully. Just have that thing be OD, so that way it hopefully just works properly. Damn, these kind of like planes of ground on each side, they're kind of like pushed out to the sides more than what I intended. That's okay. I don't know, looking not bad though. I think this painting is, I think it came together pretty well. How do we rate this painting? Just about ready to wrap this one up here. Just a sec. I think I made it work pretty well. I think the mountain, I think, was one of the things I was like, am I gonna be able to do the mountain very well? And I think the water turned out pretty okay too. Water's a tricky one for Mario Paint, in my opinion. I think it's a tough one to get right. A tricky one, some might say. It's me, I'm saying it. That it's a tricky one. Best Mario Paint you've seen all week. That makes me delighted to hear that, honestly. That is the best Mario Paint you've seen the whole week. Hell yeah. Yeah, I got nothing else for this one, so I guess it's the end of the painting. Sub one for this week's Mario Paint Monday. So I hope everyone enjoyed this painting, and thank you for watching.